Daytrippers. Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to this week's Tuesday Club. I know we said 8:30ish, but of course it's Ireland, and you guys are 26 minutes ahead, so that means that we're actually early.
That's good.
It's 26 minutes past 8 Dublin time. And given that we're coming
up, there used to be an extra half an hour at one stage.
Yeah, 26 minutes. Yeah. And given that we're coming up to Brexit and Ireland is now technically the capital of the EU remaining UK, you need to adjust yourselves to Irish time. And that's essentially it. So deal with it.
Just an Irish thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just there we go. And where are we? Okay, so good evening, welcome along. We are here. There's only three of us. It's an acoustic set tonight. There's Ray Dickinson.
Hello.
Andy, he's hiding behind the mic. And if you look there, you can actually see yourself on screen.
Closer to you.
No, because then people can't hear you. And then I have to do more editing when I get home and production on it, right?
Do something with that.
Oh, don't mess with wires.
Do you want this cushion?
That's alright.
You sure?
I was just relaxing.
All right, grand. All right, on tonight we're going to talk about what happened at the weekend, the Chelsea game, and we're going to look ahead to the Brighton game and look at all possibilities. Good, bad and indifferent, and we'll also have a little natter about Nabil Fekir, who happens to be Stephen Daly's most talked about player for the best part of 2.5 years.
Really?
I'll have to say Steve has been on the Fekir train long before the train was even built. He was in the train building yard and he was saying Liverpool should sign Fekir. If you're going to sign one player off Leon, not Lacazette, go for Fekir. So we'll be talking about that later on. And we'll also have a look at a couple more rumours that we've heard about in the camp, because what you don't know about is that Ray is actually connected to the club, and a lot of the rumours that Grizz gets come through Ray's contacts. So all I'd say about that is Dembele, but which one are we going to talk about later on? That's the surprise for everyone that's listening in. Anyway, tonight I've gone through the lads. Of course, the podcast is brought to you in association with Redsbet, which is down over. I wouldn't be right sure, just over there on the oak. And the lads at Redsbet, of course, are sponsoring the Tuesday Club, and they're sponsoring in the upcoming season as well, and across the pre-season of the World Cup that's there. Get on there, join up to the LFC Daytrippers Club, and there'll be specials in the betting, especially coming up to the Champions League final and also this weekend. And they'll also they give back to the community in the way it works as well, so it's definitely worthwhile if you're going to put a bet on. And we'll always say gamble responsibly, and if you have loads and loads of money, gamble really responsibly. And get on there, and of course we'll do all that, but we'll do something with them later on, and we'll be doing stuff from the account as well. So lads, let me start. And we start tonight. We did the post match. It seems such a long time ago that we managed to lose against Roma, and we went into the game at the weekend at Chelsea, and I said the one thing leaving here last week was, lads, whatever we do, please don't lose to Chelsea. Please erase the ghost of 2014 when all our hopes were crumbled on a rock that perished, that was called Jose Mourinho's Chelsea Park the Bus. So we come up against the Chelsea team, and they more or less just parked the bus and scored a goal, and we fucked up. And it's, now thankfully it's still in our own hands. But Andy, let me take you back to the match at the weekend. How do you feel after watching that? It was a bit disappointing that the team looked fucked.
Yeah, I suppose when you look at the two previous games where you're coming off the back of big European games, and it's sort of semi-acceptable that the players can't get up for those fixtures. You know what I mean? Like it's hard when you played in the Champions League and you're coming up against West Brom, and that it must be difficult for the players. But this was a chance, I suppose, to get their heads back in the game. Playing against Chelsea, it's always, no matter where you are in the table and no matter what you're chasing, it's always fucking good to beat the bigger teams.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like the players weren't as motivated as we've gotten used to, especially in the last few months. Okay. And the fear now is that it's burnout.
Big fear.
It is, isn't it?
It has to be a big fear, yeah.
I said to you, Ray, a couple of weeks back, and people can go back and listen to the podcast. I think it was it before this? It was before the West Brom game. It was after the win against Roma. And I said, look, we can't afford to dial in the match against West Brom. We need to just get that win on the board, and then we can park the league and just enjoy the run in the Champions League from here on in, and spread the legs. And thrown that to, like, when you look back at it, we're 2-0 up with 10 minutes to play against West Brom. That's Champions League in the bag there.
Yeah.
Right? It's really fucking discouraging now at this stage that we've left the door slightly ajar, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, the mind boggles at the thought of us missing out on Sunday. Obviously, we've got the second chance then against Madrid, but you don't really want to be in that position where that really is kind of shit or bust really for not necessarily just for the season, but the whole momentum that takes into next season and the whole thoughts of having to put up with Europa League and all that. I mean, it should have thought. I think a lot of, not everything, but part of our problems come down to the fact that obviously whilst we haven't had a massive amount of injuries, they're really sort of taken hold in the midfield. Go back a couple of months and I was quite happy with the fact that we had the 5 lads in midfield and it was 3 from 5. Now unfortunately 2 of those lads aren't around anymore, and he obviously took the decision to rest Henderson on Sunday and play Trent in that 3, and that's really where it's starting to show up now. And that midfield just isn't getting the job done. On Sunday specifically, I thought I personally did a bet for us to score 3 or more goals because I thought
last Sunday.
Because I thought.
Well, you on a lot of drugs.
This is all down to the first. This game is all down to the first goal. That's what I thought. Had we have scored the first goal, then obviously they've got to come out at us and we can potentially pick them off and win that game handily. As soon as that first goal went in, I thought we are in massive bother here. And I could not see us getting back into the game. My immediate thought was we're going to lose this game, and there was nothing after that for the next half an hour, 40 minutes that really changed my mind that we were going to turn that around. And I just couldn't see us, even though we only needed the draw, even though in those last few minutes, any kind of flick that went our way and the ball's in the back of the net and we've secured Champions League, I just couldn't see it happening.
Ulster Frankie says the bookmaker won't be cycling to work over your bets, right?
Look, to be fair, like they've come good. Liverpool have obviously scored a lot of goals this season, and in specific games you can kind of foresee where they're going to have these opportunities. And it was one of those where I just thought if we get the first goal, they've got to come out at us. They'll need 2 goals, but unfortunately they got the first goal and it worked out beautifully for them.
When we play against a team that plays, 3 centre backs and the wide men, it's either going to be we're going to absolutely hammer them and expose them, or else it's going to be the opposite. And Chelsea are so accustomed to playing that shape at the moment that if they get, if they're a goal ahead, they can easily be very compact at the back. And once that happens, it kind of nullifies our attack, like the little spaces that Mane and Salah like to exploit. They just can't operate in there because there's too many bodies.
But they're top quality defenders, Chelsea.
But can I put something to you? Because you rubbished me after the match against Roma on Wednesday, right? Yeah. And you said that I
was a little bit excited.
Look, I listened to that podcast and that was the most excited I've heard the lads in months. So everything seemed to go out the window that night. I know, in terms of proper thought process.
There was a point I made last week, and I'll make it again. Right, since the United game, good enough teams have been shown a way to play against us to nullify our threat up front, right? Yeah. So what Roma did in Rome essentially was they went back, they put a back four, but they had another man sit in front and screen defence, which effectively became a back 5 and stopped. I'm talking about for the second half.
No, but I rubbished you when you said that Liverpool were starting to show a weakness at the back. Yeah, that they haven't. Okay, I didn't rubbish out, and you said about other teams.
Jump to rewind it. Do you want me to press rewind there and play it back?
So I'll answer whichever one. I should really be answering the one that I did rubbish.
Okay.
And I did think against Chelsea, there was a let off prior to the goal. There was a warning. And then that goal that they scored seemed far too simple. Just get the ball down the channel and whip it in.
Is there not enough familiarity though to the goals that are being scored against us? It's the same goal.
Area balls again. And
it's something that we all thought had been cured with Van Dijk coming into the team. It looked like that we had someone that was really dominating the penalty box for us. And just since the United game, right, it started to creep back in. The West Brom game is probably the one where the mentality starts to get flexed because it's 2 balls whipped into the box. Yeah. That gives up chances.
Well, look, Robertson has been excellent. It was good play out wide, and the ball was delivered, and it came off Mane's head, didn't it? It was a bit of a deflection.
Yeah, it was a deflection there, and that completely sort of fell into Giroud's lap.
He just got up, and he was just in between. He was behind Van Dijk and kind of ahead of Lovren. He was in the right place at the right time. It was a good finish, but there was a couple of warning signs before that where they could have got a goal, and again. there seems to be a little bit of panic, unnecessary panic that maybe Van Dijk has helped cure.
Yeah.
So it is a concern because Brighton could come to Anfield at the weekend and okay, they're on holiday mode, they're wearing the flip-flops.
Well, they wear them all year because it's on the beach.
But with that bit of freedom, they might just fancy themselves for a little, nothing to show, and just throw in a few balls.
Yeah.
And Liverpool have so much at stake. Now they could easily.
There's nervousness. It was like the Middlesbrough game. Remember the first 10 minutes of the Middlesbrough game? Middlesbrough sort of came at us, and there was a bit of like,
Yeah.
I mean, we got that goal just before half time. Wijnaldum scored, and that like completely changed
the game. Yeah.
That, it was literally bang on half time. There's a lot of frustration building in the crowd. Going to be interesting going over for this weekend's game, and I just
go on the game.
Go on the game again, yeah.
You go on the game. Go on the game.
It's the last one because I'm losing brownie points with the misses with all the games I'm going to at the moment. But anyway,
Damo's gone.
Oh, is he? Yeah,
he's driving over. I don't know what ferry. He's getting magical ferries and everything. He's planning to be back on the 7 p.m. ferry or something. I don't know what time he thinks the game's kicking off at. It's like
I think it's a Make-A-Wish thing.
He must have a whirlicopter to bring him back after it.
I'm pretty torn over the fact that there is something at stake. Obviously, if you go over and it's a dead rubber like it potentially, well, it should have been, then that's one thing. But I suppose in another way, at least I'm going over to watch something that means something. But last season, it was exactly the same kind of scenario. And if it wasn't for that goal at the end of the first half, who knows? I mean, the crowd was getting edgy and agitated, and I just hope that the crowd is patient this week, because obviously we've had some massive highs in the last few weeks.
Okay, one of the
good week of Gap as well.
Yeah. And one of the comments is coming, and actually it leads into what you're talking about there, right? Is that, and it's a common sort of idea that's out there, is that we do look completely goosed at this stage. That's the word that everyone's. It's this year's word for me. Goosed.
Everyone's goosed. Fucked.
Yeah.
Like, are dead on their feet, kind of fatigued, that sort of thing. Yeah.
And we've been told nobody gets tired when you've got a Champions League final at stake. Everyone is just up for it, and they can magically get over fatigue.
Well,
so are you on the magic fatigue bus, or are you on the goosey goose bus?
I'm on the goosey goose bus.
I'd say there's a bit
until I'm proved otherwise.
I'd say there's a bit of kind of sports psychology behind it all as well. I find watching them now, you're not as up for a league game as you are the Champions League. It's like you've used up all your energy shouting and thinking about the game, that when it comes to even playing against Chelsea, you know what I mean, you should have been way more up for it. Chance to just fucking put Champions League top 4 in the bag, and you feel yourself flat. I'd imagine for the players it's at an extreme. They've all got one eye on the final, and the Champions League for a good while now has been that kind of priority. It's just a mental, emotional roller coaster, I'd say, for them. Especially the types of games they've had, and how mad it's been, for the players, and how satisfying it's going to be going and playing in the Champions League final. To going back to the bread and butter at the weekend, and they don't want to get injured. No one wants to get injured. And maybe they are feeling tired, but emotionally as well.
I think, and I'll go back to Ray's point. When your engine room is reduced to 3 players essentially that have to play every single game, and then you're relying on a fella who you've groomed for a right back over 2 years to try play in the centre midfield.
Or Klein at one stage against Stoke.
There has to be questions asked, right, about why wasn't there a callback option put into the likes of Grujic? Or
can he come back now? I was just thinking this today, because obviously Cardiff season's over. Can he potentially be on the bench on Sunday if needed?
I don't know.
I don't see why not.
I don't know. I know he'd qualify as one of the under, the B players in the Champions League squad, because he's been through whatever the academy is or whatever it is for X amount of years, process, and he's less than 20. He's under 25, so he should definitely be available for it, because the championship games will be finished by then. So even the playoffs and all, yeah.
No, they've and Cardiff got promoted. So
did they?
Yeah.
Was that a championship? Was it the playoffs?
They got outright promotion, so they've no more games.
I know, yeah, but the championship season isn't finished until the playoffs are over.
Why does that mean he then can't be released until after that?
I think it might be, because you know the way
it would be handy if we could have that extra body.
Yeah,
in the squad, wouldn't it?
And
he's going to be match sharp.
I would have recalled him once Emre Can got injured in the Bournemouth game, right, which I think is March the something and 31st or something like that, and that was the last time we won a match, right, in the league. I would have recalled him almost immediately because at that stage we had Henderson carrying a knock. We'd only got Milner and we had Ox and we had Wijnaldum. Yeah. Essentially as our mainstays of our midfields. We lose Lallana and we lose Oxlade nearly immediately after that as well. Yeah. And you are down to 3 players.
And Lallana's back in the mix now, is he? In terms of getting on the bench, he seems to be.
Well, like the likelihood is Lallana's going to do a Cruyff turn in training, and his hip or his groin is going to go again. Like that's just the fucking.
I think right. We have got our 3 fit, experienced midfielders in Milner, Henderson, and
2 more games,
Wijnaldum, and we 2 games, and they're a week apart, and they've had a week rest before this one. They should be alright.
And we've got a mini cup final on Sunday. They should be able to get up for it. And the big one. I think 2 weeks later.
I think it's kind of. I'm not trying to put a Tompkins spin on it, positive spin on it, but to have them still with something to play for, so close to the other game, it's probably going to benefit us.
If we win the game, then it'll work out perfectly in that sense, because we'll have played a competitive game against a team that, okay, they're not any world beaters, but they'll be playing with a lot of freedom. They've just come off a win against United, so like in that respect, it's great. But obviously, the flip side of it, and the thing that I fear the most is if we don't get that result and we end up finishing 5th, the amount of the faces around the camp. Sorry.
If we don't win at the weekend and we finish 5th in the league, right?
Because obviously we can. There's other things can happen. We could draw that game and still come 4th. Yeah. But if we come 5th, the
best thing that could happen now is Chelsea to draw with Newcastle during the week. And take the pressure off.
They're playing both Spurs and Chelsea, aren't they?
They're both playing this week tomorrow. Yeah.
So Rafa might be able
tomorrow and Thursday.
So Rafa's doing favours all over the shop again.
We could deal with it. That would be deadly. I mean, like, if we finish 5th and win the Champions League, obviously it's going to be great, but there will be that certain thing in the background that we only finish 5th.
Yeah.
I feel like the year in 2005 when the same thing happened, you start putting doubts over the team in the league again.
But Andy, I would say the thing about 2005 was that team were clearly the 5th place team in England.
Substandard to reach top 4,
This team, for the majority of this season, outside the first 9 games and up until the last 4 league games, we thought we could actually finish 2nd in the league. We string 2 wins out of West Brom and Stoke, and we're 2nd in the league.
We've been telling ourselves for weeks we're the 2nd best team in this league. Well, you can argue the case for that, but the reality is we could end up finishing 5th.
I think most people think Spurs will bottle it. I think just on it, an awful lot of people are saying Spurs will bottle it. Spurs have gone through a really bad spell. I don't think they've won in 4 games in the same way we haven't, right?
Yeah. And they keep trying to get Kane to score goals.
I know, yeah. I don't know what's going on there. It's mental. Yeah. But I think, like, eventually, again, the law of averages says that we are due a win in the league. And I would also say the law of averages say that Spurs are due a win. But I work with a Spurs fan, and he's shitting it. He's saying we need to win and draw our last 2 league games.
Because they've got Chelsea looking over the shoulder.
And he's saying at least you only have to win your last game.
Yeah.
He says, it's nailed on. If we lose one match, you don't even need to win your last game. You could have potentially draw. If we draw, we're suckered, like, do you know what I mean? So, they're only
a point behind.
We're a point ahead of Spurs, but they have a game in hand.
Yeah. So they can afford to lose a game and win a game if we only draw against Brighton. So they've got a reasonable path. But obviously, if we win and they slip up, then they've got Chelsea breathing down the necks. Yeah. I mean, that was the thing about as much as it was good to see Spurs lose against West Brom, it gave Chelsea that added impetus to go, to get that win, because they've now got 2 teams in play who they can potentially catch. Yeah. So that did worry me actually when Tottenham lost against West Brom at the weekend. I wasn't overly happy about it in a strange way.
Andy, you would because you have the Andy economics, the school of Andy-nomics, right? Yeah. And your whole thing is keep it 2 points per game. We're not going to achieve 2 points per game this season.
No, we can't now.
No, and that is disappointing.
That is disappointing.
I mean, it does seem to be the magic number that if you get
76,
you get Champions League football. And
proven methodology.
Are we 71?
We're on 72, and we can get to 75.
Okay.
We're still a point
Not
off.
far off.
Not far off.
Yeah.
But we're going to actually we're going to finish up
9 times out of 10.
But listen to me.
75.
If I told you we were going to finish up this season with less points than last season at the very start of the season, people would have been like, "Oh Jesus, we can't really afford to finish up with less points because that will put us borderline for top 4." And you would have said at the start of the season, "Okay, no, I'm just parking the Champions League final because look, that changes the whole complexion of the season, right?"
I know.
But like, if you take pure league form and say we're going to finish up with less points than last season, and it's going to be borderline, we're going to go into the last game of the season on a really bad run of form. People would have been bricking it just looking at that as a scenario in terms of what we had to do. On the positive stuff.
How many points did we finish with last season?
Salah hasn't scored in 9 years, so he's due a goal this weekend.
How many points did we finish with last? 78?
78, yeah. And when we were seeing all the tables of our extrapolated points over season, and we were like well above what the 78 was going to be.
I think there's 3 draws, isn't there, for me, which are kind of a direct consequence of our run in the Champions League. You know, there's the Everton, the Stoke, and the West Brom. And I think we win at least one of those games, if not 2 of those games. Yeah. If our squad isn't having to be balanced, what isn't an adequate squad is having to be balanced between the 2 competitions.
Yeah, but people will say that we made a mistake in August, not bolstering the squad. We made more mistakes in January. You know, there'll be people doubting Klopp saying we should have done this and we should have done that, and you don't really like to see people being proven right.
Yeah,
over the manager who we believe is the best manager we could possibly have at the moment. Yep. But they will be seen as 2 grave errors
if we don't get top 4.
Yeah, if we lost the Champions League final and we don't get top 4, they will be seen as like, you know, reckless.
Yeah,
and to be selling Coutinho and not really sort of.
Well, the thing I said, bringing in anyone really, or letting
the thing I said,
go,
and I said last season, and I said the same this season. I said it's a gamble. Right, the whole thing is a gamble. We were gambling that we wouldn't get too many injuries in our run in, that we could maintain our challenge in terms of what.
And
it was.
We were all worried about Salah or Mane or Firmino, and actually, what's turned out to potentially undermine us is the midfield. Yeah. 5 lads.
And then again, last year we gambled with the centre backs that we had and waited till the summer to upgrade what it was, and we actually ended up waiting till the winter to upgrade what we had. Right, and again, that's a gamble. But you look at it and you say, okay, that gamble pays off because we get top 4. If we get top 4 and we're in a Champions League final, if on next Monday or next Tuesday when we're doing this, we're sitting here with top 4 in the bag and we're in a Champions League final, you'd say, right, it was a gamble, it was an unnecessary gamble, it was a gamble, but it's paid off, right? The problem is, at some stage, those gambles, just like your bet at the weekend, is not going to pay off you.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. And the way we play football is a gamble at every game.
Yeah,
you know, that's just Kloppy.
We're living on the edge sometimes, aren't we?
He seems to. And I don't know, like you would imagine in the summer that the midfield will be added to, and we will have more backup up the top 3 players. Would have a 4th player like Fekir or whatever, like or some other make you
interesting
player.
It's interesting that you mentioned it. do you think now signing Fekir solves a lot of problems for us? Because I've seen imaginary lineups for next season. Interestingly enough,
already.
We're already talking about 4-3-3s, 4-4-2s, 4-box-2-2, and I've had Fekir as just off Firmino playing as a sort of a diamondy in the midfield.
This is what you're foreseeing for the Aviva, is it?
No, this is what has already appeared. Right, Keita is in there, Fekir is in there, right. Yeah. And we've Salah, Firmino, and Mane.
And Solanke.
No. Solanke's gone to Rangers. Yeah. We'll talk about Stevie going to Rangers in a minute. And Fekir is there, and I've seen imaginary centre backs, because have a guess what? Have a guess who isn't in the starting 11.
Oh, Lovren, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, and have a guess who's in goal.
Alisson.
Yeah. These lads are just they're done deals.
Look, we've seen we've seen this happen so many times. The name cropped up, like people know about Fekir, but the name cropped up as in we had an interest in it. What, 4 days ago or something like that?
Jordan, the match against Chelsea, even Klopp laughed. He said, we signed someone while we were playing the match. That's interesting. Yeah.
Fuck, you know. Good one. Good accent. But
watch the Vauxhall lads for ages, isn't
it? Just a rumour out there, and all of a sudden, like, he's in people's starting lineups for next year. People need to learn seriously. Like, this will be denied tomorrow, and then there'll be another name, and it'll be the same shit over and over again. He looks like an ideal addition to that Liverpool squad to be able to come in for the top 3 anywhere across it.
Yeah.
Why were people talking about him before? Like,
well, he was.
You know,
I actually,
why wasn't it just horn for him? Like,
Shawnee, hang on, Andy, I know where you're getting to, right? Yeah. But I do remember when we were discussing why players who could replace Coutinho, and even I remember back in January, and we'd mentioned it was that. Well, why would you replace Coutinho with a Coutinho? Wouldn't sign someone like Fekir who plays in a front 3, who can play, who likes to press, who is very aggressive, but also has the eye for a pass for a Coutinho, something like that. Why wouldn't we go for someone like that? It's a bit like, I'll go back to why I thought, hang on, I gotta walk away. It's a bit like why I thought we should have signed Salah last season.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. But at the moment, where we're at now, this week, with this whole Fekir rumour, fans now desperately want them to the point that we need them, and if we don't get them, it's going to be an absolute failure. And fans are going to be so disheartened when the rumour's rubbished, or he goes to Chelsea, or he goes to somewhere in Spain or whatever,
or France,
and he goes somewhere else, and everyone starts blaming the club again that we can't do this and we can't do that. Wake up! It's a rumour. The club haven't. We don't even know whether the club have approached for the player.
Where's the source?
Where is the sauce? So,
okay, can I just? I'll say one thing. From what Dicko told us off air, right? Due to his contact that he has at the club, right?
Yeah.
Fekir is a done deal.
Yeah.
And according to all the French journals today, they're all saying that Klopp met with Fekir in January. Now, the last time I heard this, there was all types of problems signing the player, right? But allegedly, Fekir was in Blackpool on January the 15th.
Yeah.
And they went for they did the Pleasure Beach tour, right? The same as Van Dijk got
behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors this time, so nobody knew about this, right? It's only coming out today. But the story coming out is that Fekir gave Klopp his agreement that he would sign for the club in the same way Van Dijk did. So in terms of likeness is the deal, either they're just rehashing what happened with the Van Dijk and replacing Van Dijk with Fekir, right? Or there has been some contact, and it's one of these things for me anyway. I think there's a true value in it because it's just come out of nowhere. And remember your point about deals before?
Yeah.
They just seem to come out of nowhere and all of a sudden it's done.
Yeah, but this hasn't come out of nowhere because you can't sign tomorrow. Like,
yeah, but
when I'm talking about
next week.
Coming July the 1st.
No.
July the 1st,
you can literally sign anyone at any time. They just can't sign for the club.
I suppose there could be some sort of pre-thing arranged or whatever if both clubs are on board. And they want to cash in 70 million as being bandied about. Yeah. It's a lot of money. But when I say like the ones that come out of nowhere, like all of a sudden we've signed a player, the ITK has never got a chance to even catch up. But this has the potential to be a 2-month saga of him coming to Liverpool. Oh, he's definitely coming. I know. What's going on here? Like, Bill are fucking reporting he's going to Bayern Munich. Like, he's going to there. He's going.
Yeah.
And then we're all going, the fucking bastards are, and a club is to blame.
And a snake.
Yeah. There should be someone employed at the club to come out, like, not to be nice. Just be a bastard. It's like,
that's what James Pearce did.
Yeah.
He ruined bad news Pearce. Well, it used to be bad news Pearce. But look, I look at it and say, I think Fekir is definitely happening. From what we've been told, it's a done deal. But the other one that the Klopp has put on the table is that he will be very interested in Ousmane Dembele. Right, so buried behind the Nabil Fekir story is that he more or less said it himself. Now I've given you too much at the press conference. So he's clearly a player that he rates and likes. And there's talk that because Barca are going to sign Griezmann in the summertime, right, for 100+ million, that Dembele could be potentially up for moving. He's the type of player.
Okay.
Like if you bind your Solankis and your Ings off to Rangers, right, and you brought in Fekir and Dembele, you're definitely upgrading your front 5, but you aren't addressing your midfield. Keita alone is not going to address the midfield.
No, but that's
not if we lose Chan at the same time.
There's not a hope by Dembele and Fekir. That you're talking about 150 million there or something.
Yeah, but we're loaning Dembele.
Only a loan.
Yeah, they're like.
Why would Barca give us a loan?
Why did PSG get a loan of Mbappe off Monaco for a year?
They don't like us.
It was part of the Coutinho deal, do you know?
Yeah. I don't want a big high profile loan like that. No, you get too attached and no.
Like when we got Victor Moses that time.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Klopp as well would prefer be bringing in players who can get to buy into this whole thing. Dembele be coming over to further his Barca career.
Do you think though that they might get, sign Dembele from Barca on a loan and then sign Dembele from Celtic, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the loan, send the Celtic Dembele back to Barca to see, well, you didn't say which one you wanted back.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, send him off.
What this all illustrates to me is that come May the 27th, when we're parading the European Cup, that this whole fucking ITK stuff is going to be already in full swing.
The World Cup
and it's silly season, and it just drives me nuts.
Best one I've seen so far is that Sami Khedira is coming to us as part of the deal that's taking Chan to Juve.
Free deal.
The free deal, right? I have to say,
Chan for Chan.
And this is very sound of Emre Chan to organise Khedira to come back to Liverpool in his place. Like that's fair play to him. Looking after the club, it's in his heart.
It's so stupid. Chan's going to be replaced for sure if he goes.
Who would you replace with? See, a man James Maddison seems to, whatever chance he has, it's gone now because he's done his knee in.
How do you mean?
The Norwich player.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
did he pick up an
cruciate.
Oh, okay.
So which is unfortunate.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
Who do I don't care. Like whoever
Ndidi.
Klopp wants.
Ndidi.
Yeah, get him.
Indeed.
Yeah, be grand.
What about Decore?
Just get
Dembele off Spurs.
No. He's a fallacy.
He is a fallacy. I've said this for ages.
Yeah.
Dembele's the best midfielder in the world. Go look it up on whoscored.com. The channel pisses all over his stats.
Yeah, I know. So does Henderson, so does everyone. So does Ronaldo.
It's interesting that our league form has gone down the tube since Chan got injured, isn't it?
It is interesting, yeah. I'm not sure there's a direct correlation.
Clearly is, because he got injured and we've been since then.
But down to him as a player,
his influence. He's that train in the middle of the field,
aren't we? At the end of the day, that's
he was there against the shit teams, against like Burnleys and all that. He often just ran through the centre midfield and something had happened.
Yeah, look, he was having some decent games. Don't get me wrong. He was just inconsistent, and he could be infuriating at times. But
when teams sit back, quite often the only way to get the ball up the pitch is for someone to take it
and run at them
and pull players out of position. Now whether that's your centre half doing it or your centre midfielder doing it, and
that's what Oxlade was
necessary.
Doing.
That's where
he was very good at it. The only thing about Chan, when he does it, he often loses the ball.
But he often takes three players with him, in terms of just knocking them out of the way. So
look at.
Disappointing, isn't it?
He's very, very upgradable. It's an
is.
unfortunate situation that you lose a player of his quality for free. But I don't know where he's definitely gone. Yeah.
Well, from what I heard is that actually
you're hearing a lot.
That's because I've put my ear to the ground because it's going to be a big summer. Club are keeping them all under wraps.
I mean, surely the World Cup's
going to keeping it all under
the World
wraps.
Cup's going to interfere with a few things, isn't it?
Well, the thing I heard is that Max Meyer looks to be a definite potential deal.
We're signing everyone.
I know.
We're going to have the biggest squad in Europe.
Well, we need it because I think the lesson has been learned.
What's the other fella off?
They've been parading 60 players in the
that runs loads at defences.
Which fella?
Off Leipzig.
Keita.
No, the other fella up front.
Oh, Timo Werner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get him.
No, he's signing for United.
Oh, is he?
Season after next. They're doing a deal to go for the summer after next.
Fucking sick of every shit.
What's your other man? Your other man's down the place for Emil Forsberg. That's one now to keep in your back pocket till the season after next.
Look, we're obviously just going to sign someone nobody knew about.
Yeah, Max Meyer.
Yeah. You knew about it.
And Christian Pulisic.
Oh, that's a link that's been going on for a while.
I know, yeah. Mainly because he's American.
Sell loads of jerseys.
And he's at Dortmund and Klopp.
I'm actually the most intriguing.
That one would make a lot of sense.
The most intriguing thing for me is the keeper. What we do keeper wise in the summer.
We're signing Lupin in. from Zalga Volgograd
to compete with Karius.
He's 19 and he's coming in as third choice keeper behind Mignolet and
he's going to slot between Mignolet and Bogdan, is he?
No.
If they're not going to buy a high profile, if they're not going to buy, if they're not going to buy a number one, as in they're not going to go out there and buy Allison or someone like that, just bring in Reina as
backup,
replace Mig. Just fuck Mig into the sea.
Is he not returning?
Is there any chance we get your man from Atletico?
He'd be ideal in the dressing room and all that.
Is there any chance we get him? Because he's
got 100 million of a buyout.
Of the two that I've seen lately in games,
far better.
Yeah,
far better
than Allison.
Yeah.
I think Allison would suit us better.
Do you?
I think he's more dominant on crosses than Oblak is. And I think ultimately our defence needs a goalkeeper to be dominant.
Has Allison not just made a name for himself in one season?
I think he's made his name for himself because he's got a girl's name. If he was called as Becker, I don't think anybody would just call because his name is Alison Becker. Everyone just keeps calling him Allison. Even his jersey has Becker on it. Nobody's paying any attention to it.
Then he sounds like more of a German goalkeeper.
Yeah. And then we think of that German goalkeeper's quality, isn't he?
Yeah.
We'll see how good he is in the World Cup because he is Brazil's number one.
Allison,
to see what it is. Anyway, look,
and is Oblak going to be playing in the World Cup?
Yeah, Stephen LFC 92 says it right. Born Mig at the stake. Well, we don't need it anymore.
What?
Mainly like see his power down. That was the best fucking photograph I've ever seen in my life. There since February. Would we take Reina? Is the rumour true about Reina? Yes, this rumour is true about Reina, as is Max Meyer, Usman Dembele at Celtic, and who else we say? Fekir and Pulisic. That's all your signings for the summer.
Because
Ndidi.
Reina's maintained like mad form since he left Liverpool.
No, he was shit when he went to Napoli first. Then he went and lost a load of weight at Bayern Munich.
Okay,
got better under Pep, and then went back to Napoli and is good again.
Like when he left Liverpool, we thought he was finished.
Yeah,
and he's clearly not. They could certainly do him, with a young goalkeeper like Karius there. If that was the route they were going, they're missing someone in the dressing room. I know, like lads like the Slaughter, Lucas.
Don't you fucking go there, right?
But these sort of characters you need.
But then we have Milner.
Yeah, we have Milner, but we could do it more.
What about Henderson?
Do you think if we
what age is Henderson? What's Henderson achieved like 29. That Reina?
Do you think if Lucas would have hung around for another season, we'd have secured top 4 by now? By having him in and out?
I'll actually fucking take that light and wrap it around your head and choke you to death for saying that. Right?
I think
you recant that blasphemy. Blasphemer.
We needed Lucas Scott.
Who are we selling to Rangers now that Stevie G has decided that he isn't a good God-fearing Catholic and he's gone off and sold his soul to the horrible Protestants of Rangers, right? And all the bigotry that goes on up there. Is it? Well,
I'll tell you a funny story this morning, actually, right? I don't generally wear a tie for work, but I needed to wear a tie for a meeting this morning, so I put the tie on. I looked in the mirror, and I realised that the fucking tie was basically the one Stevie G wore for the Rangers unveiling. And I was like, no, I'm gonna have to lose this tie. It was okay when I was working in the UK, but it's not okay for this meeting.
You should have.
Do we think it's a good move for Gerrard? I personally think it's a very good move from him. I think
how?
I'll tell you right. If he hadn't moved when Klopp decides to move on or whatever, the clamour for Stevie G to take over would have been huge, right? This either makes or breaks him. If it makes him, it means that he'll come back and he'll get a job in England or somewhere like that where he'll get to prove himself with a better side and then potentially is ready to take the Liverpool job. If he's not good enough, we'll find out quickly enough. And this may at some point has to make or break him.
I don't think the time. I think it's too early in his managerial coaching career to prove or disprove himself. You know what I mean? If he does well at Rangers and wins the league, like it's gonna be a miracle. Like it's gonna be very difficult for him. But if it falls flat in its absolutely falls flat in his face, it's gonna write him off. And like that doesn't mean that he can't be a good manager for Liverpool one day. I think he would have been far better suited to staying in the club and working his way up to something with the first team.
But this way, Andy, he potentially goes and wins trophies. Like there is money.
He won't, though.
He will.
At the moment, it's
If he loans half the Liverpool under 21 team, they'll finish closer to Celtic this year than they did last year.
Yeah, I think. Look, I get where Andy's coming from it, and the timing's strange because in one way because he hasn't really been back at the club that long, and he's just kind of building something with the youth setup and all that sort of stuff. But I guess if an opportunity like that comes along. And he's obviously an ambitious fella, He's a winner. And he sees the opportunity to go and... He's not going to shy away from a challenge. And he sees the opportunity to go up there and potentially break that dominance that Celtic have had. In some ways, it's kind of... it's a no-lose situation. Now, obviously, if it ends up going so bad... that he's sort of bottom half of the league flirting with relegation, that's something else. But I think he's got enough about him to be able to bring in a better quality of player through his connections, whether that be Liverpool or whatever.
But do you not think there is
able to at least be the second best team in that?
But Ray, given that that Rangers team is going to be in Europe next season, right? Yeah. Given that they're going to have this exposure, do you not think it offers Liverpool as well an opportunity to give him players that won't get games? Harry Wilson,
but you can get players out anywhere.
I know, but you've got a guy who's been there, who's after been learning under the Liverpool system, who is embedded in the way Liverpool want to play, where you can say, look, if we send such and such up, are you going to play him, or is this just a case, because if we send him up, we want you to give him 12, 15 games, and he's going to be straight enough.
I'd rather be sending me players up to him than Neil fucking Warnock.
Well, put it
that way.
Exactly, and I'll put it this way, Michael Beale has gone up there as part of his coaching staff. So if you're going to have any coach with you, right, who is going to have faith in the youngsters that we have, or the young players that potentially could come through, may not come through, right? He's the right fella to have in there with Gerrard, because he's going to know which fellas are potentially up to the level, who aren't. And he's also had his own coaching experience in Brazil, and he's also going to be able to very quickly assess that Rangers squad to say, if we bring in, I don't know, Nigeria, if we bring Grujic in on loan, if we bring in, Gomez for a season at centre-back, if we bring in somebody, right, is he better than what's there? In terms of what's really going on, and that to me is the mutual benefit in this whole thing. When you park the partisan shit aside, because to be honest with you, I
don't care about anything.
Come on, you all do. Don't use.
I'm an Aberdeen fan. I've been an Aberdeen fan ever since Sir Alex was managing Aberdeen. Like that to me blew me mind. They were all red like Liverpool. That's the only thing I was interested in. Willie Miller, great lads back in the 80s.
I think a lot of people can't see past the Celtic thing, though. To be honest with you.
I know.
I think honestly, if you're having the same conversation about him going to Celtic, I'd be still saying it's
well, that would be a hiding to nothing, that.
Well, do you know, it'd be great though if
going in after Brendan.
I want to see what happens if he's in Celtic Park next year, the All-Star singing "You Never Walk Alone," and he accidentally starts melting it. That's the Rangers manager. That to me will be the ultimate moment. See, they'd want to be winning the league by about 15 points for him to get away with that one. But as I said on Twitter,
it's intriguing though, isn't it? Rodgers against Gerrard. You know, it's.
But the one thing I did say,
Rodgers is gonna love that.
Yeah.
He's gonna love it. They'll be
outstanding, Stevie.
Mastering the pupil and all that.
Yeah, he'll have his arm around them when they meet at Ibrox.
And it will just set the fans off. No end. There'll be murder.
They go mad.
At least there's no, as I said on Twitter,
maybe
at least
maybe it's what they need. It could be a peace process.
It's not happening. It's not happening up north at the moment.
The Glasgow peace process. Stevie and Brendan bringing the two clubs together.
Yeah.
Power sharing.
Why don't they amalgamate the two clubs?
I just have one team in Glasgow.
Yeah.
That would they have a better chance in the Champions League?
Glasgow Celtics.
Rain tick.
Imagine that happened. That'd be great.
Glasgow rain.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I think that needs to happen.
Do you?
Yeah. There's no need for all that messing. Not in this day and age. Not in Scotland when like.
And did he just flip a coin for which
we're only down the road
to?
And we don't care about all that shit. Like we could drive up there in an hour, right? All that messing going on up there over the years. They're over in Scotland. There's a big fucking ocean separating them. They shouldn't be doing all that. Come on, boys. Join up.
If we don't even care, if we don't care at this stage,
and again come into the Premier League, that'd be great.
Do you know what used to?
And then born the
used to
SPL. Glasgow Celtics in the Premier League, and then Burnley SPL.
And then the NFL can come over and take Fulham into the Fulham Panthers to play in the NFL.
That's right.
Yeah. It's almost the World Games is kicking off here.
Is there any other things we can join up?
Well,
the Red Sox. We should let the Red Sox in.
Scotland have loads because there's always two teams in every city in Scotland.
Well, Hibs and
they are more parts than
as well,
they just need an there's Dundee and Dundee United.
Yeah, but are they Protestant Catholic thing?
Who knows? But one way, do you know actually Dundee United were orange after St Kevin's Boys in Dublin. They were founded by a priest.
Dundee United.
Yeah. They were a traditionally Irish club. That's a handy. So just keep them. Make them the orange lads. Really freak everyone out. The orange lads they're the Irish fellas. Nobody know what's going on. Get Dutch in as well.
But that league really is poxy, isn't it? I mean, it's been. I know because of what happened with Rangers, and it's not got competitive again since. But if Gerrard can bring back that. Even if the fucking games against each other are close at this point, it's better than what they're serving up at the moment because it's just ridiculous.
All I'd say is at least, and I said on Twitter, at least we've never got a precedent of us bringing the Glasgow Rangers manager in who was a former idol of the club and him then subsequently destroying everything that was being built up. At least that's never happened. Never happened.
Not a midfielder.
Never happened. Right, lads, let's wrap this up with Brighton. The look ahead to Brighton. So, on a positive note, we voiced our concerns, but Brighton are a footballing side. Mm-hmm. They have a terrible away record, and they've got a goalkeeper that we've definitely never tried to sign at any stage whatsoever, right? Who's just been in electric form all season. Sorry about this, but I can't help it. Your man Matty Ryan is actually a quality goalkeeper.
He was quality against United again, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's for a small goalkeeper, he's actually very, very good at what he does. Yeah. But I will say one thing, if we were going to look for the team to come and try have a go with us in the same way Bournemouth did, and what they have a strong belief in playing football and playing the way it is. This is the side that we want. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm nervous after watching them play against United on Friday. That what's his name, Knockaert or whatever you say it. He looked on fire.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's been doing all season, but he looked particularly impressive. And your man Murray is a handful up front.
Glenn Murray, but he always has
really
been.
Fair play to him since I brought him into my fancy football team, not playing.
But he is active, No, but he looked.
I miss the penalties when he does play.
He looked like he could. He's one of those players who could cause like Lovren trouble. And there's
West Brom relegated from what I heard.
Oh, okay. So how did that game end up?
Football won.
Swansea.
John Terry Carvajal, the manager, William Carvajal or whatever his name.
He's staying up, are they?
I don't know.
That means Mark Hughes is going down. That was quite funny on
managed to get two teams relegated
against Everton, wasn't it? Fuck yeah.
Southampton
won.
Swansea 0.
Ooh, where does that leave the league table now?
I did feel. I mean, you have to.
Southampton are up to 16th now.
And they've got a good goal difference there, -18.
Well, there you go now.
But look, Brighton,
that's a bit of a pisser because we could have signed a few Southampton lads a bit cheaper than normal. They got relegated.
Fire sale. Would have been a severe fire sale going on there.
Yeah, huge result.
It is. It is. That's really thrown.
That's finished, is it?
What's it? Yeah. So who? Basically, West Brom are gone, Stoke are gone, and then Swansea need to win.
Who are Huddersfield playing at the weekend?
Are Huddersfield not playing match in hand? They're playing Chelsea.
Fighting for their lives.
Yeah, with Klopp's best mate.
Yeah.
Could we send Danny Ward down and just put a wig on and say that's Gerhard Tremor there, Trom and go?
Send Ings and fucking.
That's the game. The game in hand. The game in hand is Huddersfield, isn't it? And then they play Newcastle on Sunday.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. Yeah.
So this game in hand.
They're playing tomorrow against Huddersfield.
Chelsea are playing Huddersfield tomorrow.
So
Huddersfield really need a draw at least.
They need something, don't they? Otherwise, they're in serious trouble. And I think they've got quite a tough game on Sunday as well, Huddersfield. So
they're playing Man United.
They're at home to Huddersfield tomorrow.
It's Man United, yeah.
Chelsea are home to United. Don't play.
Tottenham play Newcastle. It's tomorrow as well.
Tomorrow, yeah. That's all tomorrow's games.
Yeah, so there's still quite a lot of football to be played, isn't there?
Well, I think the last game of the season, is Huddersfield and Spurs, isn't it?
Huddersfield Spurs, is it? Okay, jeez. I knew they were playing someone tough.
Yeah.
But look, Brighton Sunday. Are we going to do some predictions here?
Well, Spurs are playing Leicester last day.
Spurs are playing Leicester, right? Newcastle are playing Chelsea, and it's in Newcastle's ground.
Yeah.
Away the Geordie lads. We always loved the Newcastle lads. Nobody has a clue what they're talking about, but they seem like nice chaps.
They
on the
did a
beach.
number over Chelsea a while ago.
Yeah, no, but they've been on the beach. Leicester have been on the beach. There's been 4 or 5 teams.
Johnny
on the
Method
beach.
in the
Rafa's
centre
not on the
midfield is going to look after us. His ex-club and the whole lot, right? So I will say to you, right, so Brighton,
It's certainly not a formality that Chelsea and Spurs both pick up 6 points anyway.
no, but
Definitely not.
you've got to just expect
it'll
them to
happen.
do it, right? So
Yeah, I suppose.
we have to do our job. So Andy, are you going to be confident that we can get our heads back on the game?
What the?
Bloody fly.
Fucking scumbag. Get away.
Piss off. People will be able to see that in high definition. I know, stupid little prick. You know?
Bit of hot weather.
Yeah, fucking hard, man.
Come on, we sort you.
Sort you over.
What was saying? Yeah, Andy, we're going to win. Boom.
Yeah.
We're going to win.
Yeah, we're going to win. We are going to win.
Let's go.
4-0.
4-0. Okay. The lads will be back on form.
Yeah, I think like if they can't switch back on now and realise bollocks, we actually need to win this game.
Do you play the 11 that's going to start the Champions League?
Yeah, 100%. Everybody, they've had a week off now. Everybody that's unless they pick up knocks and training should be fit. Trent back to right back. Henderson back into midfield.
Gomez is out for the rest of the season now, isn't he? Yeah.
He's got an operation
on his ankles.
and
It's cankles.
God love him. He's
Liposuction on the
like,
cankles.
just doesn't seem to be happening for him. But anyway,
He'll do well at Rangers next season with Solanke and Ings.
it's a must win game. The nerves will be there, but it's at Anfield.
Everyone's saying 4-5-0, 6-0.
I think
right?
no. I think we're going to do it the hard way. I think 3-2. I think they'll give us some scares along the way.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be plain sailing at all.
Early goal. Early goal sorted out.
I am very nervous about this. I am genuinely fearful of this game. And I said it to you weeks back. I said if we didn't get the West Brom result, I was really.
They shouldn't be. They shouldn't play in any way that's going to really counter our way of playing. Like they want to just enjoy the football.
Do you mean set up specifically to get a point or anything like that? Yeah, I know.
And that's going to be our biggest fear. Like God fucking forbid we are playing Huddersfield at the weekend and they had to really win. They're gonna and they needed a point. It's going to be a bastard. But look, they've had a couple of good results recently. They should be on the beach. They should be just out there to enjoy themselves.
And the fans should be just willing to.
If
be
anyone that's going to
Anfield,
if anyone's going to game. Just scream your heads off.
Salah's been
minutes.
a little bit off lately.
We want to get Salah this hat trick. We want to get fucking.
He want us kind of to consolidate his top scorer.
The last thing we want as a fan base, even for the team, for everything they've done this season, is for them to have to be doing that lap of honour at the end, having blown top 4.
Yeah, I know.
Right, so everyone just needs to will. Everyone just needs to will them on. Just believe. Yeah. And I don't buy into all this shit. You know I'm the biggest cynic in the world, right? But we we have to just even fucking go a bit Yuri Geller for this one and just completely buy into it all. Have no doubts. Never. Don't fear. Don't fear these toys.
Yeah.
Don't fear them. Fear is what kills you in these things.
And that's the thing about Klopp and finals and all that. Like, because this is a bit of a final, and I don't really like the idea, reverting from what
got us here.
Everything is that got us there to something that's not us.
Yeah.
To protect the result or to try and just get it over the line. If we go out and play the way we know we can play against them,
we should be 3 up at half time.
We slaughter them, like absolutely slaughter them.
It's
it's made for us. It's an attacking football team that we can get a bit of space, get in behind, and absolutely fucking smash them. Like that should be the way it happens. But if Liverpool start getting all nervous and Klopp doesn't send them out to do it the way we've been getting used to,
as fans, we can't afford to get nervy. As you're saying, going back to the Middlesbrough game last year, right? Yeah. You were right. People were starting to get a bit tetchy, a bit nervy as we got approached half time, right? And it wasn't a good game. You could see the nerves in the players out there. They need to buy back into what was there last year.
Was shite.
And remember,
and they were down, and they were absolutely.
And remember,
useless.
There's a reason why they're in the Champions League final this year. There's a reason why they should be second at least in the league.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they should be looking at winning the league next season.
We're a couple of squad players away from being second, I think.
Yeah.
The gap between us and United, I know it's a few points now, 5 or 6 points, but we've impressed this season. They haven't. They've been.
You can see the progression of what we're doing. You can see where we're going. And for the players must just remember this. Go out, no stupid mistakes. right? Just give nothing
Full
away. Go back to being, say, this is it. It's 90 minutes. That's all we have here. 90 minutes to secure another Champions League final for next season. You've done it for 2018.
Irrelevant to what happens in 2 weeks.
The way they set out against Roma at Anfield, the way I know City controlled the game early on at Anfield, but the attitude they had in the game, the will to win, to get forward, to not fear, a team like them. And the same goes for the final as well. I'd sooner lose the final 5-0 playing the way we know we can play, trying to play the football we know we can play,
than lose it 2-1 because we changed. That's it.
Never give it. Yeah, to never give the game a chance, to never try and expose them, because this team can I believe we can.
I believe that we can win. I believe that we can win.
That's what we need to do for the next 2.5 weeks, is it?
The referee's a wanker.
Referee's a wanker.
The referee's a wanker. The referee's a wanker.
There's been some highs and lows this season, hasn't there? I mean, only not quite a week ago, but in the aftermath of the Roma game, as I think it was Sean, he was saying, like, everyone had the Mickeys out swinging on Twitter, didn't they?
Yeah, especially Shawnee.
Yeah, and now we are as a fan base kind of split again. Yeah. You've got the half that are like, this isn't an issue. This isn't an issue. Yeah. We're going to win these next 2 games, and then you got the other half who are thinking we are goose here.
Yeah. Look, we've had
and two. This could be a complete and utter, balls up.
This is our 4th chance now to get forward.
Yeah,
fourth.
I mean, how many free hits have we used up now?
All of them ever. That's the end of the free hits. Yeah. There's no more free hits, and we won't need them because we're going to hit just one out of the park tonight. We're going to be like that Northern Irish fella from Belfast who took up the old baseball and has gone over and hit a home run today for the Mets. Yeah. And we can all make those faces like the American lads in the Seattle Sounders. I believe. Those guys. Anyway, listen, that's been the Tuesday Club. Remember, we are doing this. This time next week on the Tuesday Club, we won't be depressed going, what the fuck has happened? We're going to have to beat Real Madrid to get the Champions League.
I've got a feeling in the pit of my stomach now that's going to go all pear-shaped and we're going to be all here next week, doom and gloom in it.
Well, we always get
Well, you're going, so you're going to be part of this, whatever happens.
Remember, Ray,
you're going to blame me,
right? Right, I want to see, after 2 minutes, I want to see you standing up in the halfway line to see. I believe.
I hope there's a flag on the cop.
Do it, right?
I believe.
You're not, and remember, you can't face the match when you're doing it. You have to just turn around and face all the fans and go, I believe.
All the corporate fellas.
What's wrong with your man? Did you see a man in Castleknock there at the weekend?
No.
Who took a load of LSD and was tripping off his head. It was on the news. He was in the nip, walking around those long shops.
All over the back of a quad car and all. He's in big trouble.
He's in big trouble. It was on the news.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Poor bloke. I found out who he was today. Somebody I know was telling me that they know him. So, but that's the way it goes.
He changed his profile pic on Facebook and all to one of the pictures of him up to a CCTV camera. So he's obviously fairly okay with it all.
I think he probably just has to embrace it because it's never stupid piss off.
It's not going away, yeah.
If Barack Obama was here, he'd kill that fly. Anyway, right there.
Salah would be able to kill the fly.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
He'd be able to tread the ball past them anyway. Anyway, listen, that was the Tuesday Club. Thanks for watching in association with RedsBet. As we said, the RedsBet lads are sponsoring us and they sponsor this podcast. So keep an eye out for the feed. We'll have something on there to do with them. There are a few special bets, especially coming up for the weekend that's in it and the Champions League that's at the end. Next week, we'll be back on Tuesday again. I think we've got 2 weeks after this until the Champions League final. So we'll be, we'll be post-mortem time, probably see end of season review. And maybe just
endless transfer talk.
Endless transfer talk.
We could do a transfer special.
We'll do a transfer special. Yeah. We're going to do a transfer special next
Tuesday. I don't claim to be an ITK, but I have a couple of nuggets coming for me this week.
Oh,
okay, right. Don't forget to send the texts. And with that, we will be back next Tuesday. Big thanks as ever to Andy Young for coming in tonight. Bringing the flies in. Big thanks to Ray Dicko. Dickinson. Going the game, Dicko. our LFC regular. The man who puts the trips in Daytrippers. But not, of course, the trips in Blanchardstown, because that's a completely different thing altogether. So, look, again, big thanks for watching. We'll see you all next week. The podcast will be out later on this evening, and the HD high-quality version of this will also be on YouTube. So, actually, get onto YouTube and subscribe to us, because there'll be some special YouTube-only shows for subscribers. There isn't a paywall or anything, but you won't be able to see them unless you're a subscriber on YouTube. And I think, as far as I know, the tactics board will be back this Friday, if we can work out a temporary solution due to a lack of Mac. Anyway, so that's it. Good night, God bless, thanks for watching, and remember, I believe!